Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. There has been a lot going on this week, so let's dive right into it. First off, I want to talk about the aftermath of the Lia Thomas spectacle last weekend. Following Thomas's win in the 500-yard freestyle, the internet exploded and boiled over with well-deserved ridicule and mockery. Ben Shapiro tweeted out, "All the best women are men." The Babylon Bee put out a headline reading, "After watching Lia Thomas, little girl adjusts dreams to just winning second place at Olympics," and after which they were banned from Twitter for posting a satire headline that read, Rachel Levin, who, if you didn't know, is a biological man pretending to be a woman, he has won Man of the Year. Piers Morgan wrote, "If you support this, you are actively participating in the willful disruption of women's sport and women's rights to fairness and equality. It's shameful," end quote. These criticisms are fully in order, and it's good to see people standing up on the right side of this issue. However, I want to make sure that we know why we are against the side that stands with Lia Thomas, and it's not simply because of fairness or because women's sports are being invaded and taken over by people who are physically stronger than them and biologically male, which I may talk about at some time in the future, why I don't specifically like that term. The reason why we have to be against this kind of thing is because it is based on a false narrative. The issue is about transgenderism as a whole, all the way down to its roots. We have to oppose it in concept. We can't say that we're fine with people changing genders so long as they stay in the sport of their biological sex. And we have to realize that the entire concept of transgenderism is wrong and a lie. The transitioning individual is lying to themselves, for one thing, and lying to the world, and they're demanding that all of us reinforce the lie and use their correct pronouns and cheer and clap when they compete in a sport that they are not meant to compete in. It's not the sex that they were born into, and it's not just because it's unfair, it's because it's a lie. And everybody is going along with it, and it has to stop. And the people that can bring this to a stop are the actual swimmers and the people that are involved in the situation whose voices matter most. For example, Rika Georgi, a swimmer from Virginia Tech, wrote a letter this week condemning the NCAA for allowing Lia Thomas to compete against women. She revealed that she had come in 17th in the 500-yard freestyle and was therefore unable to go on to the finals since only the top 16 moved on. So in essence, Lia Thomas stole the spot by being in those top 16 that removed the spot that Rika Georgi would have taken, and had Lia Thomas not been present, Georgi would have had a shot at finals. And what makes it worse is that this is her last year, her last college meet, so she'll never again have a chance to get to this position in this level of competition. And this is an example of just how women are impacted by the invasion of their spaces in sports by people who are pretending to be women, biological men who pretend to be women. And unfortunately, Rika Georgi shows a little bit too much sympathy for Lia Thomas and says, quote, "I respect and fully stand with Lia Thomas," and repeatedly refers to him as she. So this is what I was referring to earlier. You can't go along with it on one level and then try to oppose it at another. If you admit that you believe Lia Thomas is a woman, you don't really have much of a leg to stand on. Most of your argument is gone. Go ahead and call it like it is. Lia Thomas is a man, and he stole his spots in the finals because he was lying. Thankfully, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis recognizes that fact and recognizes that Thomas did not win his trophy honestly. This week, he declared Emma Wyant, the Floridian swimmer from Sarasota who came in second in the 500-yard freestyle, to be the true winner of the NCAA women's 500-yard. And he said, "She earned that. We need to honor that appropriately." And I extend my congratulations to Emma and high marks to Governor DeSantis. This is exactly what we need to see to turn the tide of this issue. And I really hope that DeSantis runs for president sometime in the near future. This is exactly the kind of thing that we need to see. Something else that we need to see is states passing bills that would protect women's sports and take on the gender issue more broadly. And we did see that this week. The Arizona and Oklahoma legislatures approved bills that would ban males from competing on female sports teams, as well as banning gender reassignment surgery for minors. It is uncertain whether these bills will make it past the governor's desk, but it is a good start. And they're not just taking on the sports issue, they're taking on the transitioning surgery issue, which is also another big thing that has been coming to light in recent months. So yeah, it's good to see them taking on the issue at its core, and this is where the cultural conversation is headed, and we need to prepare our arguments. We need to fight this fight with everything we have. Diving back into COVID news for just a brief moment, Dr. Fauci has given some indications that he is considering retiring. On ABC's Start Here podcast, he said, quote, "I have said that I would stay in what I'm doing until we get out of the pandemic phase, and I think we might be there already. I can't stay at this job forever," end quote. So, we are indeed out of the pandemic phase, Dr. Fauci. No worries about that. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that the world would be much better. It would be good for everyone if Dr. Fauci said goodbye tomorrow and rode off into the sunset or wherever he goes when he's done. And the day cannot possibly come soon enough. I'm not even in the United States, and this man is getting on my nerves too, because whatever he says is basically the narrative of the entire health establishment, and he's got to go. Now, here's something a bit comical. I don't usually critique a lot of speeches given by U.S. politicians, but I never pass up an opportunity to laugh at Kamala Harris bumbling her way through yet another speech. So buckle up. This one is profound. She goes into some very deep philosophical territory. Take a look.
The governor and I, and we were all doing a tour of the library here, and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children.
That is a hard act to follow. I might add one thing though. Have you ever considered the significance of the passage of time? I swear this woman writes her speeches using predictive text. It's like that thing on your phone. If you hit the middle suggested word long enough, you end up with, "It is a good day to be a great day to be a good day." Yeah, she does that and ends up with significance of the passage of time. Now we get to the really big story of the week. So I recently joined Twitter. I've been on for a while, but I just started being more active on it this week. So when I logged on Wednesday morning, I see that everybody is buzzing about something. They're posting memes about biology and being able to identify what a woman is, and I was confused about what everyone's talking about, and eventually I found the source of all the hubbub. It is a clip of Senator Marsha Blackburn asking Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Jackson one of the simplest questions that has ever been asked. Check it out.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of
She can't define what a woman is. This has sparked an entire movement and a conversation all over the internet. The hashtag "What is a woman" has gone viral. At least it was up until Will Smith. But everyone is talking about this, and that's good. First of all, this should disqualify her as a nominee, but more importantly, it points out the interesting fact about the left's ideology is that they're either so deluded that they actually don't know, that they literally can't define what a woman is, or that they won't, because they know that if they say it, the entire thing collapses in on itself. The superstructure of gender theory is resting on confusion about the basic biological facts of life, and it is based on keeping this mysterious fog over very simple things that everybody should know, and trying to make it all complicated and academic and so hard to define that they can just say whatever they want and nobody can question it. But once you start asking those very simple questions, the dominoes start falling. And when you're forced to recognize biological sex, people realize how incoherent the entire theory is. And the answer from Judge Jackson couldn't have come at a better time, because the culture is at this moment ripe for a return to sanity. Parents are starting to push back and protest against the liberal indoctrination of their children in schools, with from Florida's parental rights and education bill to parents showing up at school board meetings all over the country in the wake of lockdowns and critical race theory. And the Lia Thomas debacle has awakened people to the absurdity of the entire issue of biological men and women's sports. And the foundations of gender theory are beginning to crack. We are finally beginning to question the nonsense and insanity that has been creeping into our culture for years, and it is falling to pieces like dust before our eyes. Keep the pressure up. We can bring this tyranny down. That's all for this week. See you right here next time.